farm, so he needed a place to drag the car. So we sold this same vehicle right out of this showroom 50 years ago, and we've been selling vehicles here ever since for 60 years. Just finished our 60th anniversary. And we like hearing the stories about the father and son that rebuild a Mustang, or the stories of staying out late in a Mustang. Anyone can attest to that, I guess. A lot of Mustang stories as all the folks from the Bluegrass Mustang Club shake their head. So it's still an exciting vehicle today. We have an all-new 2015 Ford Mustang that launches this year, and we're excited to have some distinguished guests here with us today. The mayor of Lexington is here, Mr. Jim Gray, and the governor, Mr. Steve Beshear, is here with us today, so we're glad to have you here. I'm going to bring up the mayor of Lexington to maybe tell us some Mustang stories. I'm not sure. Some good ones and bad, maybe. But welcome to Paul Miller Ford. We're glad you're here. Thank you.
Hello, First Lady Jane Beshear. Let's give the First Lady These Mustang stories really brought the First Lady out. Well, it is great to be here today. All the employees, raise your hands. Let's give you guys a hand, real hand of applause. And I want to tell you, I know that JP and Paul, I know that this is the way they feel, because I hear so many stories about the business, about the family, about the commitment. And I know a little bit something about that from being in a family business myself, growing up in a small town in Glasgow. My father passed away when I was 19, and we struggled through insolvency, almost bankruptcy. My mother was right there with us. In fact, 1980, when we were flat on our backs, the accountants came in, met with her first, and then she came to my brother and me and said, "Well, boys, it looks like you have managed to piddle away what feeble capital your daddy left us." She was right. But with the help of employees that stuck with us and helped us, through times of adversity, the human spirit triumphs. It doesn't fail. And there have been times like that right here at Paul Miller Ford, I'm sure. Our company went through its 50th anniversary 5 years ago, and it was great. It was just a great experience to celebrate that, because, family businesses and what they provide to a community represent stability, represent a fabric of commitment and core values. And that's such a big deal. In the job that I have today, I see that. I see that, communities held together through institutions like businesses like Paul Miller Ford. And so it's a really great privilege to be here with you all today and to present this proclamation recognizing the 50th anniversary of the Mustang itself. And Governor, I'm not going to read every one of these whereases. I know, and you all probably don't hear every one of them too either, but when JP was telling that story about the Mustang being on the top of the Empire State Building, I hadn't seen it yet. How many of y'all have seen it? See the images of it? That is, I want to see it. So when he was telling that story, it reminded me of, seeing that first Mustang myself. And so what this simply says is that it recognizes the Ford Mustang celebrating its 50th anniversary on April the 17th, and that it was introduced at the 1964 New York World's Fair, and that 9.2 million Ford Mustangs have been produced and sold since 1964, and that Paul Miller Ford has operated in Lexington for 60 years, and in that time sold thousands of Mustangs. And so this is a congratulations to founder Paul E. Miller, his son, company CEO John Paul Miller, and his son J.P. Miller, representing the third generation of this extraordinary family business. So, as mayor, on behalf of all Fayette Countyans, we join Paul Miller Ford in celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Ford Mustang and hereby proclaim Thursday, April 17th, 2014 as Ford Mustang Day in Lexington.
Yes.
Thank you all.
What a fun day and an exciting day to celebrate this wonderful car and this wonderful family. Jane and I both have Mustang stores. The only problem is they're with other people. Because when the Mustang came out, we hadn't met each other yet. And so we agreed this morning that I won't tell mine if she won't tell hers. You know, we're always celebrating in the Commonwealth of Kentucky the great partnership that the Commonwealth and Ford Motor Company have. It's a 100-year partnership that Ford has had with the Commonwealth investing here. We've got a huge operation in Louisville. They continue to expand it and to grow it and to employ more Kentuckians, and we certainly celebrate that every day. But we're also here today not only to celebrate a great car, we're here to celebrate a great family. The Miller family has been a tradition here in Lexington for now, I think, about 60 years. Starting out with Paul Miller, then his son, John Paul Miller, and now J.P. Miller, carrying on that tradition of excellence. The car dealership here has grown by leaps and bounds. They're one of the biggest and best around this part of the country, if not in the entire United States. And so we're excited today to celebrate Ford Motor Company, to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Mustang, and to celebrate the Miller family. And I think we ought to give the Miller family a round of applause. I want to ask the First Lady to come up and say a special word of thanks, which she does all the time for the partnership that she and her program, Horses and Hope, which is a breast cancer awareness program, have had with Paul Miller Ford. And you can see part of that partnership way over here on my left in that pink Mustang that we have. So let me present to you the First Lady, Jane Bashir.
Thank you, and I'm thrilled to be here today because it is a partnership. Horses and Hope is a program where we've combined breast cancer awareness and education and actually screening for those people that work in the horse industry. We partnered with our racetracks, but we've also partnered with other equine organizations across the state. And the Miller family was gracious enough when I asked, which I often do, if they would help us. And JP and John Paul and Judy graciously loaned us the pink Mustang convertible. Now I have to tell you that my staff have had a ball driving that all over the state. It is in parades. It will be in the Pegasus Parade. It has been at horse shows everywhere. It was just at Keeneland this past Sunday for our Horses and Hope event there, celebrating our breast cancer survivors. And the story that I think is the greatest is one of my staff was driving it to Western Kentucky for an event, and she said the whole way down, people drove by, and you can kind of tell, you know, you can't miss it, that people would honk and wave. Now, we're not sure if they were great advocates of the Mustang or if they were advocates of the breast cancer awareness program that we do, but we've gotten so many accolades, and it's been such a great thing. We also decided that, you know, there's two kinds of horsepower. There's the four-legged horsepower and there's the four-wheeled horsepower. So when we had our first NASCAR race up in northern Kentucky several years ago, I got the brilliant idea that we ought to take the Mustang up there, which we did. And, oh, give me the driver. Walter. I asked him if he would drive the car, and we actually ended up being the lead car. Our pink Mustang from Paul Miller Ford with Darrell Walter driving it in his pink shirt. I told him he was a real man. And he taught me a lesson that day as we're whizzing around and you can't see anybody any way at all, and it is fast. The others had to try to keep up with us. But he's sitting there with his arm out the window, and I'm over there just waiting. My arm is so tired, and my smile is tired. He's not smiling. He's smart. He knew they couldn't see him. And he's just sitting there with his arm on the window. And I said, you know, you've got this right. He said, honey, I have been in so many parades. I know better than to sit there and do that all day long. So next time you see us in a parade, you'll see me with my arm on the side of it. You know, I'm a quick learner. But JP and John, you know, in all the information about the Mustang being on the top of the Empire State Building, really amazing how they got it up there and what a focal point that's been. But in that article, and I just have a question, you know, we'll be looking for another car before very long, and I understand the first Mustang sold for $2,000. $2,000. Think we can make a deal? Well, congratulations to Paul Miller Ford and to the Mustang. It's certainly a part of many of our growing up stories, and for many more young people to come along, and many more of us that want to be the young people. You know, we love to drive this kind of car. So congratulations to everybody. And thank you, Paul Miller Ford, for helping us with this fantastic program for Horses and Hope.
Well, we do have a wonderful Mustang cake. We hope you stick around. We'll have the Bluegrass Mustang vehicles here all afternoon. Although this is the 50th anniversary today, or birthday, if you will, it's only the beginning, because the 2015 Ford Mustang will be here in just a couple of months, and we're looking forward to selling a few more thousand over the next 50 years, and we're proud to be a part of Lexington and Ford Motor Company go further. Thank you so much for being here.